Who doesn't love this music at this city? Hey everybody, Midnight Wolf here. We're back again with more Volt White. So, last time we got here to Turfvale City with the epic music that everybody loves. Always had to do that. But anyway, we're back with more Volt White today, and it's time to get going. We have the cold storage to take care of, so let's get started. And there are there are some bios that I need to do here, of course. Razor Fang, by the way. We can't do anything with that just yet, so just keep that in mind that is here. Well, you can use it later, but for now we can't. Dawn Stones. If you were looking for Snow Run if you were looking for Snow Run or for Gallade, well, not Snow Run, but you get the point. If you're looking to evolve it something with a Dawnstone, this is where you can find some. I believe it's 3. Let's take a look. It is 6. Never mind. That is even better than last. That is even better. All right. So if you needed Dawnstones, there you go. You have 6 of them to work with. And since we have a bunch of fights to get through right now, I think we can start off with the bios for what you can find here in the cold storage, since there's a couple of interesting things here to find. And starting things off, we have Vanillite. Huh. What you might be wondering, what do I have to say about this one? Considering that there have been other Pokemon I've definitely bashed previously. This one got the necessary buffs it needed. Specifically, it got some more moves for type coverage, and its stats were tweaked to make it a little bit better and give it a bit more of a role to work with. In this case, Vanillite Line gets access to Shadow Ball now, TM30, TM53 Energy Ball, TM86, which is Grass Knot. It has Ice Body and Weak Armor for abilities now, which both work in different ways. Ice Body is good on the Hail Team, and Weak Armor is good if you can live a hit from something and take advantage of that. But anyway, that aside, we've got as well some stat changes. More or less just rounding some stats out. Its HP was lowered by 1, its speed was raised by 1. Its attack and defense were nerfed slightly, but on the other hand, all of it, and also its special defense, but all those nerfs to its other stats go straight back into special attack. So it has the same base stat total, it's just that it's more rounded towards being a glass cannon special attacker. It's a little on the slow side, but if you can work around that, this thing is actually pretty solid to work with now. So this one is okay, but just be careful. But don't send it in expecting it to be a Dragon Slayer, because most of the dragons should outspeed this thing under normal circumstances. So don't get cocky with this thing. But it is still a good Pokemon nonetheless. All right, moving on to the next Pokemon on the list that is new here is Snorunt. This one's a bit of a weird one. Snorunt is one of those mons that when you look at its original form when it came out, this thing was terrible. Snorunt and Glalie were terrible in the original games. Just absolutely horrible. Glalie had all of its stats of base 80, didn't get anything really useful to work with, only knowing Ice, Dark, and Normal moves mostly, so didn't really have a whole lot going for it. It does now though. Well, Glalie specific. Snorunt itself is nothing special. We don't really need to look at that. Glalie though did get some interesting things to work with. Specifically, it's now a nice rock type, and it gets access to said rock moves. Smackdown, Sandstorm, Rock Polish, and Stone Edge, and Rock Slide. And it's been geared to be more of a physical attacker and defend physical wall, or just be better on the physical side rather than the special side. So no more mixed sets, but you now have a dedicated role for this thing. It's supposed to be a special attacker through and through now. is perfectly fine. It does get Solid Rock, which is another interesting thing to know. That ability is always good, and giving it to something that's quad weak to fighting, and quad weak to fighting is probably a good idea. Especially since you're now weak to the ever popular Earthquake spam. And it also gets moody if you want to have if you just want to try having some fun with things. That side, it would also be a crime to not mention the other form that you can evolve Snorunt into, with the ever so thankful Dawnstone that we just got. You can also now get a Frostlass, and Frostlass got a well-deserved boost to what it needed. A nice 20-point boost to its base special attack to give it a nice round 100. Simple, but effective, and it makes this thing even more dangerous to play with. And again, all you need is a female Snorunt and a Dawnstone, and then boom, you have your Frostlass right there waiting for you. Simple as that. Next up on the list, however, is a bit of an interesting one. Next up on the list, we've got Swinub. This line, I have never personally had anything positive or negative towards. For me, it just is there. I don't have anything against it, I just don't ever use it or really have anything to mention about this thing. But hey, it's a really solid, it's ice ground, so that's a plus. You don't really see a lot of ice ground types anywhere. Heart Scale, which is nice, by the way. But yeah, ice ground pretty good. Get some pretty solid moves to work with, including getting access to Icicle Crash and Super Power now, and Body Slam, which is also a nice little touch. Just in general, this line's pretty solid. This line's pretty solid. But Mamoswine is probably the thing you want. It does get access to Thick Fat now, so if you were looking for if you want to have that ability, then really all you need to do is simply get a Swinub that has Thick Fat. It carries throughout its life. Same applies to Snowcloak, but then again, I doubt you want to be running a Hail team. But if you are running a Hail team, this could also work for you. Although then again, we just ran into Frostlass, and that also has it, so I don't know. That one, the choice is up to you on that one. Actually, wait, no, I'm incorrect. Frostlass does not have Snowcloak anymore. It just has Levitate, so that thing can't be hit by ground moves anymore. So I retract that previous statement. Absolutely use this thing then, because it has some Snowcloak. Anyway, carrying on then now, Cubchoo. Oh, what do we do with this thing? What do we do with this thing? It's a weird. This one's gonna be an interesting one. So, Cubchoo normally is a slow physical ice type attacker. Not the best combination, and it's basic. And a lot of people writ it off. Hell, Sugar Conroy writ this thing off, and when he did his Let's Play of Black and White a couple years ago. You think, and then he got proven wrong when he fought Drayden with it. Yeah, that fight. Ignoring that now, but well, you can't ignore that. But anyway, moving on. Beartic is the thing that we want to look at here for the Cubchoo line. Ice fighting type, boost to its HP, boost to its defense, boost to its special defense, and 10 points in speed. It also gets access to Earthquake and Waterfall now for some reason, and it gets Sheer Force and Swift Swim. Why you get Swift Swim? Don't even know. But regardless of that fact, this thing is dangerous. Don't ignore this thing, because if you don't have an easy way to take out a Beartic, you're gonna die. You're gonna probably die really hard, either to a Brick Break, a Superpower, a Waterfall, freaking Earthquake, or just an Icicle Crash that just outright kills you. So yeah, don't ignore this one. Otherwise, it'll come back to bite you so hard, it's not even funny. Oh yeah, this thing also this thing this thing also gets yawn because of course it does. So this thing could in theory this thing could also put you to sleep and then set up to kill you. That's scary. Like, that's legitimately scary, so you don't want to mess with that thing. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say there. I do have a lot to say about the next Pokemon on this list. It's Weasel! Hey, you've been wondering where this thing's been hiding all this time? Well, apparently it's been hiding over here for some reason, but it's here. It's here, and now you get a chance to actually use this line. Weasel, as a lot of people probably already guessed, is a really good Pokemon, and it evolves into Floatzel at a pretty reasonable, and it'll evolve into one level pretty much whenever you catch one here. It does get access to Ice Punch now at level 32 or 34, depending on if it's a Weasel or a Floatzel. Gets Tail Slap, which is normally a signature move that can hit up to 5 times, and which could be very interesting, considering that this line doesn't get a whole lot of normal type moves for good coverage. Like, really, the only good normal moves it gets are Swift and Return. So, having an extra option might work, and it does make sense considering it's got Tails to begin with. Other things of note is it does get Technician as its second ability now. So if Swift Swim doesn't work for you because you're not using a rain team, then go for Technician. It could work really well with certain things. Hell, it works with Swift and also the aforementioned Tail Slap and Priority Aqua Jet, because why not? So keep that in mind. This line has a lot of good things up its sleeve. A diamond in the... well, not really a diamond in the rough, but just a fan favorite that just got even better. Next one on the list. It's Mienfoo. I love this line. But for some reason, quite a few people in my friend group don't like this thing particularly. I can't understand what they're missing, because this line is great. It is a bit of a glass cannon, I will admit, and I've been guilty of getting cocky with this thing, in the past. So I won't say that I'm perfect with this thing, but I think I at least know what I'm doing with this one. So going forward with this one, well, doesn't get a whole lot of new moves to work with on paper, which you think might be a slight issue. Not really. I mean, getting access to U-turn via level up is a good thing to have. Bounce is an interesting move, so there's that to work with as well. Main things of note though, it evolves at level 39 now, which is a lot more reasonable. So you'll have a Mienshao by the time you're supposed to fight Clay, by the time you fight Clay. And having Reckless as an ability is okay. It's not the best ability to get this thing, honestly. I think Inner Focus might have been the better option for the original abilities, but whatever, it works. Regenerate is probably the one you'll want though. Get it, you can send this thing in with Fake Out, go for a Fake Out, and then if you need to switch out, just go for a U-turn, or just stay in and go for a Drain Punch, and you'll be at full health regardless. Hit and run tactics while staying at full health is the way to go with Regenerator, and that works really well with how Mienfoo and Mienshao are. Fast physical attack, fast but frail mons that can cause a lot of chaos when given the right circumstances. I love this thing, and at some point I really need to get a shiny of this spawn. Still don't have one, and I really need to fix that at some point. Oh well, that'll come in time. I'm pretty sure of it. And next mon on the list is surprisingly Sneasel. Yeah, Sneasel's right here, and it's still pretty solid. It's still a pretty solid mon. Nothing too different, except that it finally gets freaking Ice Punch via level up. Why does this thing not learn Ice Punch via level up in most of the games? I don't know, but it learns it here, and it's very useful. Weirdly enough, this line also gets moonlighted for some reason. God knows why you would want to. God knows why you would want to have a healing move on a frail sweeper. I don't know, but hey, it doesn't matter. This line gets Ice Punch. That's all you really need to know. It does get it gets Technician as an ability as well, which is also pretty solid. Gets Fake Out as a Weavile, gets Crunch as a Sneasel only, but at a staggering level 56. Why they thought that was it? Why did Triana thought that was a good idea? Don't even know. But hey, he knows more than me, so I can't really say too much. But still, Night Slash still works as a solid Dark type move to use, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah. As for Weavile, Weavile is just fast. Give this thing the Razor Claw, let it evolve, and then just go nuts with this thing. Just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind though, it's frail. But it is your Dragon Slayer though. Like, if you don't use this as your Dragon Slayer, then you either have a really good Dragon type, or a Steel type that just walls everything. Or you just don't have any of those and you just die. I mean, that works, I guess. But anyway, carrying on. Oh no. Oh no. Why do I have to talk about this thing? Do I really need to talk about this one? Can we just skip this one? Like, can I just switch to the next bio, please? No? I have to do this? Okay, fine. It's Delibird. This thing gets a lot of new moves to work with, so you're not just screwed over and stuck with the useless move of Present for its entire lifetime. But regardless of that fact, this line does not have a whole lot it can really do. Its stats are definitely better, that's for sure. Its stats are definitely better, but still, there are way better ice types that you could be using instead of this thing. Like, seriously, don't use this. Its stats look a lot better on paper, but again, seriously, don't freaking use this. For the love of God, just don't. It's not worth it. Hey, at least Technician and Acrobatics give you some interesting things to work with, and so does U-Turn, and U-Turn at least allows you to get out of there. But, again, why would you use this? This line still does not have enough to justify using it. We're moving on. And we're moving on to Smoochum. Hey, I remember this thing. I found a shiny of these once. But anyway, but still, Smoochum is not really the thing we're going to be focusing on, but Jynx is definitely the one that we want to focus on here. Like, Jynx is just... I don't know. Jynx is one of those mons that just kind of is either really good or you just forget that this thing is even in the game half the time. But it gets some pretty good moves. In fact, it gets some really good moves nowadays. Gets Water Pulse via level up at level 1 for some reason. Don't know why, but it does. Gets Petal Dance so you can deal with those pesky bulky water types a little bit better. Gets Wish, which could cause some interesting shenanigans. Metronome is a Smoochum, which who cares? It's Metronome. It gets Nasty Plot and Psycho Boost though. Those are the moves you definitely want to get. You get them at stupidly high levels, but you should definitely get these nonetheless. Like, seriously, make sure you learn these moves. I mean, yeah, you should probably still have Psychic, but I mean, if you have Nasty Plot already, then you might as well just use Nasty Plot with Psycho Boost, because good God, that's a broken combo if you pair those two together. Although, weirdly enough, Jynx's abilities that it's given here are very odd. Trace is probably the better of the two to have, but why does it have Dry Skin? It's an ice type. I don't really understand the logic on this one. But hey, I guess there's probably some logic. There's probably some logic or strategy to this that I'm not getting, but I don't see it. But still, it's fine. It's fine. This line is perfectly fine to use regardless. Just go for it. And that's actually it for the cold storage. We got through a line of bios actually decently quickly for once. Hooray! Didn't take as long as I thought. And here is this. In fact, here is the Razor Claw that we need to evolve a Sneasel. So if you call one outside, there's now you have every means to evolve one right now if you so choose to. If you want to wait for Crunch at level 56, go ahead, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's a bit much even for somebody like even for some people. You're just trading 10 extra power for the ability to not have a higher crit rate. So, are you really losing anything by not getting that? But yeah. Also, it gets Ice Punch at level 32, of course. So just keep that in mind. You can keep that in mind. It doesn't. Aside from that, check Bulbapedia to see any other relevant moves that it may or may not learn as a Sneasel only. Anything I didn't post here, go check there. Anyway, moving on though. Almost done with the cold storage. Just gotta beat this. I also should mention that we did pick up a bunch of metal coats earlier. If you found a Scyther earlier, or if you have an Onyx, then these are the things that you need to evolve it. So there you go. Also, the metal coat does boost steel type moves, so there's also that. You can use it as a held item, or you can use it to evolve something. You win either way. Speaking, here's a steel type that is good stuff. It doesn't need the metal coat. Freaking Metang. And why this guy has a Metang in here of all places, I have no idea. But okay. Okay, wait, you have Levitate. I need to heal. Alright, Shockwave again. We're gonna keep bullet punching, I guess. That works. Almost, and... Alright. I wish I had that move, but I don't have it yet. Alright, there we go. Speak of the devil, there it is. I was wondering when I was gonna learn Psychic. I was wondering when I was gonna learn Psychic. There it is. At least I actually get it at a somewhat reasonable level, because I have been playing on and off recently the Redux of Blaze Black and Volt White 2, and dear God, and good God, they do not give you any mercy with the moves that you learn with the learn sets. You get the moves at reasonable levels, or you just get completely screwed over because that's just how this goes. Also, it's only 2 metal coats, so they did the bear. So it's literally the exact amount of metal coats you need to evolve the 2 Pokemon that evolve with it. That's pretty much a Drayana thing, though. If you, he'll give the bare minimum amount of items to at least evolve every Pokemon once. If you burn up that item on the Pokemon that sucks, then you need to go out of your way to go get a new one, or go get another one, I guess. I don't know why I said go get a new one. But anyway. Oh yeah, this. I should mention this. I didn't even mention it before, but yeah, I don't have Ampharos in my party anymore. You might be wondering why. Well, simple answer, I don't need it anymore. There are some things coming. I have a because Ambrose was really only there in the early game to help deal with early flying types, and just in general because I wasn't sure exactly how easy things were gonna be for me. A good electric type would at least been useful, but it's kind of slow, and I also I have Aggron now. So I also have Aggron now, which'll be fine, especially with it having 30. So I don't think I really need it anymore at the moment. maybe I'll grab it. Maybe I'll grab it, but hey, I'm not sure. I'll figure that out later. But carrying on, we have some Team Plasma grunts to take care of, and I'm just gonna speed through this because this is somewhat easy. So for sanity's sake, I'm gonna turn down the music. I'm gonna turn down the music a bit so that the in-game music a little bit, so that way you don't have to hear the awful sound of me speeding through the game. But yeah, uh, other things I can mention while we're doing this. Not a whole lot on it. Not a whole lot really. Drano's still working on redoing Sacred Gold and Sword Silver. He did pose the idea on Twitter recently of trying to maybe add in Gen 5 mods or keep the original 493. And if I remember correctly on that Twitter poll, it was determined that he'll keep the original 493 for Sacred Gold and Sword Silver, which I'm fine with. It's probably the right call. I do hope he does add. I do hope that things go well with him making that project. I'm glad he's taking his time, but I can't wait to play through that again. I can't wait to play through the new version though, because the old version was good, but man, there were some glitchy things throughout that. See the verses I did with my friend Green a couple months ago for reference to that. Oh yeah, speaking of Green, he's fun. Speaking of Green, if you're wondering why him and I haven't been recording stuff recently, well, he kind of got burnt out. It is what he told me. He got burnt out, and he's also had some other things going on. So I've been giving him the necessary time for him to take a break and refresh before we go back into recording again. So if you're wondering where he's been, he's fine. Don't worry about it. He'll come once he's ready. Of course, we'll start recording stuff again. But for now, he needs to take a break because we all get burnt out every once in a while. So I can understand that. Anyway, last guy now, and yeah, just this is easy. Goodbye, Swallow. All right, yeah, beat you, and there we go. Oh, yes, so as you can see, Trisha has the experience share for the moment, which is fine. Anyway, there we go. With that, that's all set. So, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to go on here. As much as I want to go take on the gym right now, I kind of don't want to, mainly just for the fact that I'm not entirely ready for that yet. I do have some ideas in mind for how to deal with the gym, but I don't have it. But I need to work some things out before doing that. But hey, got through got through this and got through those bios pretty quickly, so I'll take it. As for this item, if you're curious, never melt ice. So if you wanted to boost your ice type moves, there you go. Anyway, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here, and I guess on the way out, I'll tell you guys that I'll catch you guys next time. I'm trying to reorganize as to how I'm going to be recording stuff going forward for solo projects at least. So that way at least I have a better idea of how to give stuff out on a more consistent basis. I'm trying different ideas to keep myself focused so I actually get stuff done, and hopefully soon enough I'll have a system down that works. Also, by the way, that was a Rocky helmet back there, obviously. That's always a good item to have, so just keep that in mind. This guy will give you the expert belt. Didn't pick this up last episode, but I did pick it up now. Things to note, though. This person. Oh, actually, wait, is it you? No, it's the other guy. This guy. The herbal medicine guy. Yeah, you guys might forget about these, but I do want to point one thing out. The revival herb is one of the best healing items in the game. Period. It basically acts like a max revive. Yeah, your Pokemon will be unhappy if you use it, but it's a it's literally a max revive that you can actually buy. I didn't realize how useful. I kept forgetting how useful those things were, but I do. I definitely know now. So keep that in mind. It might be a useful item for you to have. I will also point out there are Pokemon out here on Route 6, of course, that we can go get, but I'm going to say that for the next episode while we're fighting through all the gym trainers. And there's an Ultra Ball here. But yeah, aside from that, I don't have anything else to say for the moment. I will catch you guys next time for sure. Oh yeah, also there's also the little cutscene in front of the gym, but I'll probably just skip that before next episode. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.